taking good practices, working hard, stand on top of our grades, especially like keeping the right things, stand on what we got to stand on, hopefully making it back down to Champaign.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Great job.
Being here, I'm Brett Bagansky.
And I'm Liz Moreno. The search is on for a suspect in a fatal shooting on Chicago's west side yesterday. 2 people are dead, and tonight we're learning more about one of those victims. Friends have identified him as...
He was 3 days away from changing his life forever. 3 days away from picking up the phone, calling a college coach, and saying the words that would take him out of the streets of Chicago and into a future that most kids in his neighborhood only dream about. He had the offers. He had the talent. He had everything lined up. All he had to do was make it home. He didn't make it home. Damarion Johnson was 18 years old. He went by DJ. And on the night of May 7, 2026, he hopped in an Uber after basketball practice, just like any normal kid would do after a long day of working on his game. No drama, no conflict, just a ride home. But somebody in a gray SUV had other plans, and by the time those plans played out at the intersection of Homan Avenue and Lake Street in East Garfield Park, DJ was gone, and so was the man who was just trying to drive him home. Before we get into what happened that night, if this is your first time on the channel, welcome to Shadow Crime. Hit that like button, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you never miss an episode. We cover the cases that matter, the stories that deserve to be told, and we don't stop until the whole truth is out. Now let's get into it. DJ didn't grow up with everything handed to him. He came from humble beginnings on Chicago's west side, and anybody who knows that part of the city knows what that means. It means you grow up fast. It means you learn early that the streets don't care about your dreams. But DJ had something that a lot of kids in his position didn't have. He had a reason to stay focused, and that reason was basketball. From the time he was young, DJ ate, slept, and breathed the game. He was a part of Project sWISH Chicago, an inner-city youth basketball program founded by McKinley Nelson that uses the sport as a tool to keep kids away from violence and on a path forward. And DJ wasn't just another kid passing through the program. He was a staple. He showed up every single week. He went on the spring break trips. He answered the phone when they called. McKinley Nelson didn't just see him as a participant. He saw him as a little brother. Those who played with DJ described him the same way every time. Funny, silly, competitive as hell on the court. A big personality that lit up whatever room he walked into. His coach at Christ the King Jesuit College Prep, where DJ had recently transferred, said he was thoughtful and mature beyond his years. He said DJ taught him things too, about gratitude, about coming from nothing and still showing up with everything you've got. That's who Damarion Johnson was. Not just a basketball player, a person, a son, a cousin, a little brother to an entire community that believed in him.
18-year-old is dead in a shooting on the west side. We have new information about the victim as the search is on for a suspect. Right here on Fox Chicago. Thanks for being here. I'm Brett Bagansky.
And I'm Liz Moreno. The search is on for a suspect in a fatal shooting on Chicago's west side yesterday. 2 people are dead, and tonight we're learning more about one of those victims. Friends have identified him as 18-year-old Damarion Johnson. They say he had just finished basketball practice Thursday evening and got into an Uber heading home at around 8:30 in the evening. But near the intersection of Homan Avenue and Lake Street in East Garfield Park, that ride was cut short when a gray SUV pulled up and someone inside opened fire. Both Damarion and the Uber driver, 38-year-old Jassen Cho, were shot. They were both rushed to nearby hospitals where they were pronounced dead. Now the people who knew the teen are trying to come to terms with this unimaginable loss. He was part of Project sWISH, a program that connects young people through basketball and mentorship. Those who worked with him say he wasn't just a talented basketball player. He brought energy, humor, and heart to everyone around him. The organization says they're devastated and they're now focusing on supporting his friends and teammates as they grieve.
I think the funniest kid that's ever come through the program, honestly. So silly, so funny. A big ladies man, honestly. Super competitive when it came to the basketball floor. Just an overall great kid, right? This was a huge shock to all of us this morning. We never expected.
Uber issuing a statement saying, quote, There are no words to describe this tragic loss of life, and our thoughts are with the victims' loved ones during this difficult time. We're doing everything we can to support police during their investigation, and we hope those responsible are brought to swift justice. Police have not released any information about a possible suspect or what may have led to the shooting. So far, no arrests have been announced.
The big question I had is, and maybe you found this in your reporting, did we find out if this was either targeted or if this was just a random shooting?
You know, unfortunately, it's unclear right now. I did, ask McKinley Nelson there, the founder of sWISH, if he knew any details, if he had any details. He is in contact with his family, but at this time, police have not released any suspect description. He did just want, to take the opportunity and let, the youth know, especially as it gets warmer outside and as we get into the summer months, just to be aware of your surroundings and surround yourself with good people and, try to stay off the streets.
Great advice there, especially that self-awareness. I can't stress that anymore. Leslie, thank you for that.
And here is where the story takes a turn that will sit with you long after this video ends. DJ wasn't just playing pickup basketball on May 7th. He was putting in real work, serious work. The kind of work you put in when you know your moment is coming, and you don't want to leave anything on the table. After practice wrapped up, he did what any tired 18-year-old would do. He pulled out his phone, opened the Uber app, and requested a ride home. Simple, safe, normal. The driver who accepted that request was a 38-year-old man named Jassen Cho. Now let's talk about Jassen for a second because his story deserves to be told too. Jassen wasn't a full-time Uber driver. He was a senior financial analyst, a DePaul University graduate, a man who grew up in Albany Park on Chicago's northwest side and had built himself a solid life. He had a girlfriend named Jennifer Garcia, who he was completely devoted to. In fact, that very weekend was supposed to be their one-year anniversary. He was driving for Uber on the side just to stack a little extra money. That's it. That's all he was doing. Just a hard-working man trying to get ahead, who happened to accept one ride that he never came back from. Jassen picked DJ up right after practice. They didn't know each other. There was no connection between them beyond that app pairing them together at that exact moment. They were heading southbound on North Homan Avenue when everything changed. Just before 8:30 in the evening, a gray SUV, later identified as a Hyundai Tucson, pulled up alongside their white sedan, and then someone in the back seat of that SUV leaned out a window and opened fire. Multiple shots. Jassen was hit in the arm. DJ was hit multiple times in the body. The white car came to a stop. The SUV kept moving. Jassen Cho was rushed to Stroger Hospital. He was pronounced dead at 8:54 p.m. Damarion Johnson was rushed to Mount Sinai Hospital. He was pronounced dead at 8:57 p.m., 3 minutes apart. Two completely different lives, ended on the same street, in the same moment, for reasons that nobody has explained yet. And here is the detail that should make every single one of you stop and think. Police sources told reporters that the shooting appeared to be targeted, not random, not a stray bullet, not a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Somebody in that SUV knew where DJ was going to be that night. Somebody followed that ride or was waiting. Jassen Cho did absolutely nothing wrong. He just picked up the wrong passenger at the wrong time, and it cost him everything, including the anniversary he would never get to celebrate. DJ's cousin Regivian Hudson said the last time he spoke to DJ that night, DJ told him he was heading home and would call when he got there. Regivian said okay. And then the next call he got was not from DJ. It was a call that DJ was dead.
Damarion Johnson spent years with Project sWISH Chicago, a basketball program for inner city youth. He's now the second teenager with the group whose life was taken away by gun violence. This while his family and friends gather here to remember a life that had so much promise.
Each dribble and skillful fadeaway is for one of their own, who no longer can make an impact on this very basketball court.
This is the place where they fellowship every Saturday, right? So this Saturday is no different, except that we're not here celebrating with him, we're celebrating for him. I hope the family doesn't mind, but we took it upon ourselves to put this memorial together for our little brother.
Members of Project SWISH Chicago, a basketball program for inner city youth, coming together
Only my little brother.
alongside Damarion Johnson's family at Homan Square Park
I miss my little brother already so much.
to remember the 18-year-old in an emotional balloon release. The teen was shot and killed in Garfield Park while in an Uber ride Thursday night, headed home from the gym after playing basketball with his best friend and cousin.
He was telling me that he was going to go home, going to call me, and I basically said, okay. And then after that happened, I got the news that this happened, and I was completely devastated.
Security video shows the moments when a gray SUV pulls up beside Damarion's ride before someone in the back seat of the SUV leans out of the window and opens fire on the white car, killing the teenager and the driver, who relatives identified as 38-year-old Jassen Cho, a financial analyst, DePaul University grad and Albany Park native, who drove for the rideshare company as a side job and died days before celebrating his one-year anniversary with his girlfriend. The shooting happened before the high school student who attended Christ the King Jesuit College Prep was supposed to commit to a university with a full-ride basketball scholarship.
The tragedy of this whole thing is that we had an official visit set up in a couple of weeks with a school in Wisconsin.
It's just really an unfortunate situation, but we're working hard. Chicago Police Department is working very, on the investigations.
We wanted to push each other to be the best that we can, wanted to make it out with this basketball stuff, but I'm going to keep on pushing just for his name.
The founder of Project SWISH Chicago tells me that the mayor's office has agreed to pay for Damarion's funeral expenses. Police have not given a motive behind the shooting, and so far no arrests have been made. Reporting in Homan Square Park, I'm Trey Ward, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Now here is where this case gets even more disturbing. After the shooting, investigators tracked down the Hyundai Tucson that was linked to the attack. They found it just blocks away from where DJ and Jassen were killed. But when they got to it, the car was already on fire. Somebody had torched it, deliberately, methodically, like they had planned for this exact moment. That tells you something important about who did this. This was not a spontaneous act of violence. Whoever pulled that trigger came prepared to cover their tracks, which means they knew exactly what they were doing before they even got in that car. Area 4 detectives are investigating. Uber says they are cooperating fully with law enforcement. But as of right now, no arrests have been made. No motive has been released. And the people who took DJ 3 days before he was going to announce his college decision are still out there walking free. Let that sink in for a second. Now think about what the community lost. McKinley Nelson, the founder of Project SWISH, stood at Homan Square Park that Saturday, the same park where DJ and his teammates gathered every single week, and he held a balloon release for a kid he called his little brother. He looked into the cameras and said DJ was on his way to making it out, that he had offers from multiple colleges to play for free, that he was just weighing his options, and that before he could even make that phone call, his life was cut short. And what makes this even harder to sit with is that DJ was not the first. Just 6 months earlier, in November, Project SWISH lost another one of their own. A 14-year-old named Armani Floyd shot and killed in the Loop. 2 kids from the same program. 2 kids who were surrounded by people trying to give them a way out. Gone. And McKinley Nelson said he tries not to let it break him because there are still more kids out there who need protecting. Think about what it takes to keep showing up after losing 2 kids like that. Jennifer Garcia, Jassen Cho's girlfriend, spoke through tears about the man she loved. She said he was there for everyone, not just her, that if you needed help, Jassen was the one who showed up. He was kind. He was dependable. He was 3 days away from celebrating a year with the woman he loved. And now she is planning a life without him because he accepted one Uber request on a Thursday night. So now I want to ask you something directly. And I want you to really sit with these questions because they matter. Who knew DJ's location that night? Was he followed from the gym, or was somebody already waiting? Why would anyone want to stop an 18-year-old kid from getting to his future? And what does it say about us as a society when a young man can do everything right? Stay in school, stay in the gym, stay away from trouble, and still not make a home. DJ deserved to make that phone call. Jassen deserved his anniversary. And both of them deserve to see tomorrow. If this case moved you, do not scroll past. Like this video. subscribe to Shadow Crime, and click that bell icon so you get notified every time we drop a new episode. These stories deserve to be heard, and your support is what keeps this channel going. Share this one, because DJ's name should not be forgotten.